We have a midweek meeting coming up at Sha Tin on Wednesday night. All races taking place on the dirt on an 8-race program. Welcome to Racing to Win, where we preview it for you right here on the show. And something a little special with two of Hong Kong's best horses coming up shortly. Also on the panel today, Tom Wood and Nick Child. And Nick, what can we look forward to?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Look, it's a decent enough little meeting, this, for racing on the all-weather. In fairness, it's very much a horses for courses type of card, and there are some pretty smart all-weather performers lining up as well. So, look, there's certainly a bit to look forward to, most definitely.
There is indeed. Tom, are there jackpots for the Wednesday night punters?
There is a jackpot. It is 1.8 million for the quartet and first 4 merged pool in race number 8. So the club seeding that for the last. There's no debutantes lining up on Wednesday night, but we know with this all-weather track, each meeting it can play differently. So we'll just see how it develops through the first couple of races. Sometimes you need to be on pace. Sometimes it does suit the swoopers.
It does indeed. So that is coming up. Before we get to that meeting on Wednesday night, it's a huge day on Sunday. Twilight racing starts here in Hong Kong, but before the first race, two of Hong Kong's best appear in Japan.
California Spangle and Brendan Abdullah, Hong Kong in the L-Quad. Romantic Warrior is going to get up by a nose. Romantic Warrior and Voyage Bubble.
Purton and McDonald heading to Japan. They've had some great battles this season in Hong Kong, Nick, and Romantic Warrior's had a wonderful season everywhere.
He has, yeah. Look, he's a superstar horse, isn't he? And obviously we know now he loves the travelling. And the two horses had an epic battle, Tom, in the Gold Cup, and they're going to lock horns again.
They are, and it should be a great lineup. The entries are out for the Yasuda Kinen. Got horses like Danon Scorpion, Elton Barrows, who we saw here, of course, Namur, Geoglyph. Further down, you've got the likes of Seraphos and also with Soul Rush with Stella Veloce. So an all-star lineup for the Yasuda Kinen this year.
It sure is. And the man heading across to ride Voyage Bubble, Zac Purton, spoke to Nick.
Looking ahead to the weekend, obviously, you're off on your travels, off to Japan, Voyage Bubble. You had a sit on him in a trial before he left. How did he feel?
Trial was good. It was 1,000 metres, a bit sharp for him, but he showed good speed as he does, went through his gears nicely, and we let him gallop on through the line with the mile race in mind, especially up the hill there at Tokyo. He pulled up well. I've seen the videos, as everyone has. He looks like he's settled in well. He's a pretty no-nonsense horse. He takes everything in his stride, and I think it's a suitable race for him, so hopefully the track is okay. I'm not sure what the weather is going to be like. It's a little bit sort of hit and miss leading up to the race. Hopefully it's not cut up, and it's an even surface, and we get a nice tempo and he gets his chance.
From your experience, Zac, having gone there and ridden in the past, I mean, obviously Ricky clearly thinks this is the type of horse to take, and we know he's a very good one. What are the elements needed for a horse from Hong Kong, say, to go and perform at the top level in Japan?
You need a lot of ability for one. It's never easy to win in Japan. They're pretty good at defending their own home turf. But I think he's just got a good style where he can race on speed. He likes fast run races. Not guaranteed to get that, but if that is the case, he can handle that. He can clearly run beyond a mile. He's been good up to 2,000 metres, so the uphill straight there and the testing conditions shouldn't be a hindrance for him. And he just does a lot of things right. No, it's not a vintage year. There's no standout horse there at the moment. So it's probably it's a good year to go and roll the dice and see how we go. Bring it on, we'll see what we get.
And I guess hopefully, if not so the case for you, obviously, but the horse that might well stand in your way is the horse that's also trained here in Hong Kong. Obviously, we remember that great Gold Cup clash they had. So with a bit of luck, we might get a really good result for Hong Kong, hopefully in your favour, I'm sure. Yeah,
well, hopefully. Well, Romantic Warrior's had a fairly tough season, hasn't he? He's gone down to Australia and had to peak down there and come back to Hong Kong and had to peak a couple of times and struck the wet track last time, and he had to dig deep, lift himself off the canvas to win. So, he's jumped back on a plane and gone again. It's a big ask for any horse to do that. So he might be a little bit vulnerable at this stage in the season, and hopefully we can capitalise on that if that's the case.
Logistically, how does it work for you? You leave on Thursday after Wednesday night?
Yeah, so I go Thursday morning. I've got some restaurants to go to. Play golf Friday. Cruise around. I go to fish markets and have a look. And it's a good opportunity to go back to Japan and spend a little bit of time there and spin one around at the same time. Yeah.
He's got the trip sorted, has Zac Purton ahead of riding Voyage Bubble. Tom, romantic warrior, as is mentioned. He tangles with him. We just saw him in that interview looking very relaxed at track work.
He was looking very relaxed, and we can see the horses coming around the home turn here, working way out from the inside rail. Of course, Romantic Charm is the horse in front that's gone across there as his travelling companion. He's been kept up to the mark, but right in behind him is Romantic Warrior. James McDonald's made his way across there nice and early, and saw there was a couple of comments about him just hoping that he'd eat up a little bit better sort of late last week, but he looks good there.
He does. No, look, he's a super horse, isn't he, really? And, you know, he takes it all in, and he's proven that with travelling in the past. So, I mean, both horses look great.
Yasuda Kinen, 2:40 Hong Kong time on Sunday. It will be simulcast ahead of race number 1 at Sha Tin at 4 o'clock. So changes to times coming up this weekend. But don't forget, 2:40 Yasuda Kinen, Romantic Warrior and Voyage Bubble, the headline acts. There is Sha Tin. Wednesday night, 10-side course in use, 8 all-weather races, and it's meeting number 76. We get underway at 7:15. The 2 races we preview, the last 2, the Class 3s, over the 1,200 and the 1,650 metres. Chung-on handicap race number 7 has Sing Dragon looking for 4 in a row, but he does carry the top weight this week. Maniac blinkers off, visor goes back on. Victory Moments has the blinkers going on. Never miss top 4 course and distance. Super Win Dragon's a 4-time course and distance winner. Hong Kong Hall, he won last time, carries an extra £2. Beauty Infinity has pacifiers for the first time. Call Me Dandy is first up from a bleed. We've got Sky Forever just struggling a little bit back up in Class 3, and Colourful Prince does like to go forward. He is off a rating of 60, Tom, but with a light weight of 60, he can hold out Hong Kong Hall.
He can. There's no shortage of pace in this race, Mark. Colourful Prince, Hong Kong Hall. The other one that can join in is Sing Dragon. He, of course, has led in the past, but he's got barrier 12, but we know you can sit wide on the all-weather and still perform well. Maniac's another horse that does like to race prominently, and so too Victory Moments from a good draw barrier 3 with the blinkers going on. Sky Forever likely to get back. He is in this race with barrier number 11 for Matthew Chadwick.
With it an all-weather meeting on Wednesday night. Nick, let's have a look at the premierships. We'll start with the trainers. It's an unofficial premiership because there's no prize for the leading all-weather trainer, but John Size sits atop of that list at the moment.
He does, yeah. Look, John, I'd never mind John when he switches his horses back to the all-weather. Interesting fact, actually, all of John's wins on the all-weather have come over the same trip. So his record 1,200 metres on the dirt is very good, actually. So, yeah, look, and as for the jockeys here, Tom, I was having a chat this morning. I can't remember who with now, but Karis Teaton, he's absolutely flying on the all-weather. Yeah,
he is. He's at 11 wins. He's got more than anyone else, so we're ticking along very nicely. Just go back to John Size. He's had a bit of a lean trot recently across both tracks. He's only had 3 winners across the last 10 days, so it's fair to say it's probably not been a vintage season for John this year.
It's not unlike the top of the premiership battle between Pierre Rung and also Francis Loy. Karis's rides, Tom Adderfield, always a good chance, and he has a very strong book to further add to the 11 wins.
He's got Cool Blue, but you wouldn't trust Cool Blue with his non-winning record. Regent Gloria last winner. Perfect Peach is only a one-time winner, but he hasn't been far away. I thought Brave Witness definitely wasn't the worst. Sing Dragon, Nick just has to overcome a wide stall, and Saruga Bay, I think, having a second run for Danny Shum.
Yeah, he is, and look, races 1 and 7 would look the 2 standouts. I mean, Sing Dragon, he's unbeaten on the all-weather and unbeaten under Karis.
He is indeed. We've got one of the riders who's currently sitting on 4 wins on the all-weather, Zac Purton. We heard him and his thoughts on Voyage Bubble. Nick also spoke to Zachary, his ride in race 7, Victory Moments.
Zac, all-weather meeting coming up Wednesday night. Victory Moments for you in race 7, perhaps the pick of the rides. How did you assess his run last time?
Well, if he's the pick, I might be in trouble. I thought he was okay, but he might be better just sitting a little bit further back off the speed than what he was. He just didn't seem to have the same kick. He's got the blinkers going on. He just likes to have a little bit of room. speed should be on in the race anyway. So we'll just get him into his rhythm and see if he can close it off a bit better.
Yeah, interesting, obviously, watching it. I mean, the way he sort of travelled up, I imagine you as a rider probably did expect more, so there naturally would have been that element of disappointment with him.
Certainly disappointed. Yeah, I thought where he was in the run, he was entitled to win the race, and he was going to, especially the way he'd been racing. And he had plenty of room. He doesn't like it when he's in amongst other horses, so he's actually run his best races 3 wide, no cover. Just back off the speed a little bit. So I thought when he was outside the leader with plenty of room, that was his race, and he didn't get it done. So we'll try again, but it's becoming a little bit frustrating. But it's certainly there. It's just getting it out of him.
Yeah, for sure, and slightly better off, I think, at the weights with Hong Kong Hall. There, obviously, gate 3. You mentioned sort of 3 wide, no cover sort of thing, being able to run on. Does he get his chance from down there? Do you think is that probably an ideal gate, or would you have preferred somewhere else?
It's probably the worst gate for him, down on the inside. I'd prefer to draw the outside gate, actually, and just sit wide on him. So maybe I'll be trying to go left instead of right.
There is Zac Purton talking about victory moments, Nick. We'll move on to the opposition and the unstoppable on the all-weather Sing Dragon.
Yeah, he is flying along this horse. Interesting enough, it's 3-0 Sing Dragon victory moments. But look, plenty of them coming out of this race. Obviously, Sing Dragon, Hong Kong Hall here running third. He has obviously won an all-weather race since, and you've got like the likes of Montefruta in here as well. But look, he's in super form. This horse doesn't sort of know when he's beat at all, and he's improved a lot here. Tom, £21 for those 3 all-weather wins. So. Might take a bit of stopping again, perhaps.
Yeah, he himself has got a further £6 to carry here, but he's actually lost 20 pounds in the body weight and only just survived here. He was up outside the leader. What sort of run he gets here, I'm not overly sure from barrier 12, but it was a gritty win. But he's going to need a few things, especially with the weight and the draw, to go his way this week.
And there is his report card. Unbeaten, 3 for 3 on the all-weather. 3 from 5 at the distance, but he will be looking to make it 4 in a row on this surface. Tom, Beauty Infinity is a newcomer to all-weather racing. This is his trial on it. When finishing 6th, he wasn't asked to do too much behind a horse called Lakeshore Hero, which has been trialling well. Yeah,
he has been trialling well, Lakeshore Hero. Now, this horse, Beauty Infinity, has started just about favourite in every start to date. Was at 3.6 behind co-partner Prance last time out, and he had the trail. He just ground away for mine, really, over the final stages. Nothing wrong with his trial here on the all-weather. He's drawn barrier 7. The pacifiers are on. He needs to be kept safe, I think, but I still think there's a few other better chances in this race than him on the all-weather.
Yeah, look, I think so. I mean, I never mind when John switches them to the all-weather, and as I mentioned, 27% that strike rate over this course and distance, and 8 of his wins, all of his all-weather wins this season from 30 have come over this trip.
That's Beauty Infinity. Nick, up to Chung Fa we go, and Call Me Dandy on the comeback trail. We haven't seen him since January. Gets a good draw, barrier number 1, and has placed over the 1200 on this surface.
Yeah, look, he bled from both nostrils when last seen, hence he's had that enforced break. Draws gate 1, 143 days off of games for him. But look, the Chung Fa trial, I mean, this was perfectly adequate. He's actually had 3 since he was seen last. A fresh record puts him off a little bit here, Tom. He's had a couple of goes. He's only managed sort of minor placing. So he's no forlorn hope first up, but I'd prefer a better record.
Yeah, I quite like him here. He's obviously had that bleeding issue in the past, but I think he's fit, ready to go. He's dropped 36 pounds since his last run. He's had those couple of trials leading into this with a good draw. He's going to sit right behind the pace, and should the rail be a good place to be, he's going to be in that perfect spot.
And the stable is going terrifically well, so he's the one to beat for you, Tom?
Yeah, I think he is. First up here off that trial, I just like the way he did it over the final stages. Their last 150 metres or so, picked them up and put them away nicely. You call me Dandy. Lyle Hewitson riding for Francis Loy, who's equal top of the premiership at the moment. Sing Dragon goes in, but barrier 12, big weight. There's a few things against him this time, but he's shown he's a good horse when it comes to the all-weather. Hong Kong Hall's adapted really well to this surface. 2 starts for a win and a minor placing, and so was able to hold out Super Win Dragon last time out. Now, when he was beaten by Sing Dragon, he obviously meets him a pound worse off at the weights now, and Victory Moments had a few chances recently. He's £5 worse off with Hong Kong Hall here, so we'll see what he can do. He's actually £7 better off. He's got £5 less to carry this time round. Zac Purton, Francis Lloyd, blinkers on. Hopefully that sharpens him up. 8, 1, 6 and 3.
Yeah, I've got 4 here. Also, we haven't really mentioned a great deal, but we've seen him through those key races. Super Wind Dragon. This race might just suit him. There'll be a bit of pace on here as well, and he can run home strongly. Over Sing Dragons, so we'll go the Dragons 1 and 2 here. He's obviously in great form. Victory Moments. I'll give him another chance with the headgear going on. I know it's a bit disappointing, but he can bounce back from that. And Hong Kong Hall, obviously in good form. A lot of these horses, their form does tie in together. So 4, 1, 3, 6 for me here.
And that is part 1 of Racing to Win. Being an all-weather meeting, we'll come back and keep the dirty theme going and look at race number 8 right after this. Welcome back to Racing to Win. Before we get to race number 8, yes, it's that time of the show where we go back, Tom, to a last run reminder. And a very impressive win it was by Prime Mortar at Happy Valley. And of course, he trolled superb on this surface leading into that race.
Yeah, so he looks a big chance again, does Prime Mortar. And you can see him jumping from a wide stall last time out. They pushed forward with him as they made that first turn. And you can see there 46.71 was 0.31 slower than standard. So he was up on the pace, a good place to be. Just wanted to maybe overdo it a little bit, but he also covered some ground here in the run as well. You can see him up here near the pointy end of the race, and they've climbed the hill, and he's up challenging for the lead here as they make that turn, and he's eventually able to get in one off the fence by the time they got around that turn as well. And then in the straight, he just kicked clear and really raced away for a strong performance, did to Prime Mortar, considering the early section there, even though he was up on the pace, and was more than decisive. His first run from Tony Cruz's barn, and he did it well. Of course, he was with the Jimmy Ting, where he did win off 48 and 53, and then he got down to a rating again of 50, and he's been able to absolutely bolt up there. So I don't think the dirt will be too much of a concern for him Wednesday night.
Not at all. All the 5s, race 5, number 5, Prime Mortar is the last run reminder. On to the last race now, and it is race number 8 with Berlin Tango having the hood removed. Apache Pass is a 3-time course and distance winner. Perfect Team scratched on the 18th of February. Lame Right 4 has had 2 trials since. Super Winner has his second look at this surface. Excellent Fighter, he has his first. Saruga Bay, first start for Denny Shum. Blinkers off, visor goes on. An Amazing Duck has no visor, but the cheek pieces are added to the duck, Tom. But he's not going to lead because Massive Action led all of the way and won last time.
Yeah, he was well rated by Dylan Moe. Dylan only getting his second win of the season aboard Massive Action last time out. Should be able to cross and find the front here. Woodfire Bro looks like he's in for a more economical run than he had last time out. Woodfire Bro, Super Winner now. He's a contender for the lead here as well, because he's another horse that does like to go forward. An Amazing Duck, another one that could potentially press forward here to avoid a wide passage. Excellent Fighter, he's got a bit of speed, but he's up in distance here from his draw. And Perfect Team, he doesn't have a lot of early pace, so the good draw probably can't take advantage of that.
Musical interlude now. Nick spoke to Brenton Avdulla and asked him to do the Berlin Tango.
Brenton, Berlin Tango, ride for you in race 8 coming up on Wednesday night. We're on the all-weather. He's an old boy that seems to have found his form again.
Yeah, he's raced well, hasn't he, his last couple? He was good at the around the valley, and then he got back to his preferred service, I suppose, on the all-weather, and probably a little bit stiff not to win. He just copped a little bit of interference before the corner, and probably just cost him the race. But he attacked the line really well in good sectionals, and hopefully he's taken a bit of confidence out of his last couple, and we can hit the back of the net.
Decent pace on last time. Looks like it's the same again. I guess the same sort of setup will certainly suit him. Yeah,
it was controlled enough though last start. It wasn't too quick, so wouldn't mind it if there was a little bit more pace in the race, sort of mid stages. But yeah, hopefully it sets up well enough for him, and he can get his breakthrough win again.
I know he's not from 10 this season, but obviously with a horse like him, an older horse, he's raced at 80. I know he doesn't win all that often, but he's holding his form well enough. And I mean, there aren't many opportunities before the end of the season. This might just become his, mightn't it?
Yeah, he's ready to go now. Like I said, he's had a good couple runs now, and they sort of find their mark here, don't they? And they can sort of win off it. So I've had a few this season that they've sort of been out of form, and then they've sort of started to hit a little bit of form later in the season and got their win. So hopefully he can be another one.
And just on gate 6, middle of the line, does that give you a few options?
Yeah, he hasn't got much pace. He'll be probably mid the second half, and I'll just get him to switch off, and hopefully he can attack the line like he did last start, but just get his head in front.
There he is, Brenton Avdulla, re Berlin Tango. The horse that was also in that replay in the green colours, Nick, was Woodfire Bro, who was wide the entire and never gave it away.
No, absolutely not. And, you know, he's run some really good races from limited exposure on the surface. Michael Chang, there you can see, 3 winners there, and his strike rate, top 3, obviously, very good. So he's got his team going a long way. He's got Smart Folks in the second. Solar Up in the third. He's also going to carry the number 3 saddlecloth there. Woodfire Champ, quite interesting runner, I suppose. And then he's got chances with Forever Folks and Woodfire Bro.
I think probably the two weakest of his string there look to be Solar Up into Fortune Whiskey, but a couple of those Folks horses have got a chance in the program.
They do race well on the surface, Smart and Forever. On to Aestheticism, Tom. Now, he's coming up in grade on this win over 1,600 metres on the turf. He's yet to get it together in Class 3, but we do know he has ability.
He does, and looks like Purton was on board from a wider straw last time out, and he was towards the back and was able to run over the top of them at the end. Mr. Dapper and Co. here. Drawn well this time around with a lightweight on his back, and he should get all favours from Barrier 4. Look, whether Barrier 4 is totally ideal for him, if he's a horse that needs to be a little wider and into the clear maybe, but I don't think he's the worst in this.
No, not at all. Not at all. And he's now up to 63 rated. He's one off marks in the high 50s. Let's not forget as well, Pierre's been joined at the top of the Premiership by Francis Lloyd. So interesting, he's running a few of these horses on different surfaces.
It is indeed. It's D-Day at the top of the Premiership. Silver Up, Nick, and Red Majesty. This was Happy Valley last Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's pretty recent form, isn't it, with this pair. This was in the race won by Romantic Lau. That's him coming down the outside. Red Majesty, for as much as I'm his biggest fan, he's 0 from 3 on the all-weather, so regrettably don't think I can have him on this. Can lead, he's drawn well. And Silver Up there, Tom, he's having his debut on the all-weather.
Yeah, and I didn't think he was the worst here last time out. He ran 6th behind Romantic Lau last Wednesday night. He's got a lightweight here. Harry Bentley might put up 1 over, but he's only had limited starts with Danny Shum. So, yeah, Barrier 3.
And Perfect Team, Tom, back at the trials. He's found a bit of a home on this surface this season.
Hasn't won for a wee while now. He's first up for 126 odd days, so he's fresh here, slow away. But gee, I thought he ran on particularly well between runners last time out behind So We Joy back at the end of January. It was a really good showing, and there wasn't too much pressure put on him in the barrier trials. So I think he's right in this up to his neck here.
Yeah, his best has come on this surface. Lame right 4 when withdrawn last time out. So I was happy enough to watch.
Selections.
Woodfire Bro, he goes on top at number 2 for Michael Chang and Derek Lung here. Such a tough run last time out. I think he's definitely the one to beat. I've got Berlin Tango in for second. Perfect Team. And Apache Pass, he appeared to travel well, but just peaked on his run late. 2, 1, 4 and 3. Yeah,
going with old Berlin Tango in this. He looks to have returned to something like his better form. He's pretty well handicapped nowadays as well. So he goes on top over Woodfire Bro. Apache Pass, I'll give him another chance. I thought he was only fair enough last time. And Highland Rahi, he'll be a massive price. Don't be shocked if he can run well on the surface. 1, 2, 3, 8.
All replays and races are available on the website hkjc.com. Click on audio and video for race-by-race analysis. Best bet, please, Tom.
Best bet, Mark, comes up in one of the later races, race 7, number 8, Call Me Dandy. Francis Loy and Lyle Hewitson first up from a bleeding attack there. Race 6, number 5, G-Liner, Jamie Richards, Hugh Bowman. Gee, this horse was unlucky last time out, so you can see him behind them here. And he was just whacking away at this point, but then he starts to pick up and there's just nowhere for him to go inside the final 200 metres. Wasn't too much covering them here. There was only about half a length covering the top 6 here, so how the form stacks up remains to be seen, but he steps to 1,800 metres. He was unlucky last start. And the play, he's in the play. G-Liner with Gallant Hero, another unlucky horse last start, and Viva Hunter close up as well.
Yeah, best bet for me coming up Wednesday night is in the last. It is number 1, Berlin Tango, off a mark of 80. I think he can capitalise there. And the long shot, race 3, number 8, Flying Dragon, returning to his preferred surface, backing up quickly. The play, race 6, pretty simple, win, place, jubilation.
Best bet also in the last, Woodfire Bro, huge last time. He's just such an honest horse. Michael Cheng could have a good night. There's a number of chances for his runners. A long shot, race 2, number 6, Patch of Watch, now with Manfred Mann, and went like a jet in a recent trial on the all-weather. The play, a race 8, Woodfire Bro, Perfect Team, and we'll stick with Silver Up on the quick backup, having his second run for the Denny Shum barn. That is a look at the meeting on Wednesday night. Quick check of the diary about what is upcoming. Wednesday, we're back to Happy Valley on the 5th of June, and of course, Sunday, Nick, there's a couple of Group 3s, the Sha Tin Vase and the Lion Rock Trophy. And that start time is absolutely correct.
It certainly is, yeah. Twilight racing starting there, Tom, with a couple of really nice races.
There's a racing bonanza this week, 11 at Sha Tin, all sorts of racing from around the world as well on the Yasuda Kinen.
Yep, with Romantic Warrior and Voyage Bubble. Thanks to the boys, that has been Racing to Win. We'll see you for the first at Sha Tin at 7:15 on Wednesday nights.